Alright guys, it's JC the Sniper coming to you once again. And this time I'm going to be talking a little bit about knives. Knives and their uses and why I believe it's a good idea to carry a knife. Recently I made my video on non-lethal force and why I believe people should carry methods of non-lethal force on their person if they're going to carry a method of deadly force and intend to use it in a defensive situation. And I got some comments on that video. Had a guy asking me, do I carry a knife? And of course I said, yes, I carry a knife. I always have a knife on me. Always. And he says, well, you know, what do you need a knife for? You don't need a knife when you're going out. And of course I'm like, what do you mean by going out? That's kind of silly. I use my knife all the time, regardless of where I am. I frequently find a use for a knife because despite the fact that this is a good defensive tactical blade with, you know, almost a 4-inch blade and a good handle to grip and excellent deployment speed, this knife also is excellent for utility. If I need to cut something, you know, maybe I need to cut a zip tie off of something, or, you know, I've purchased something and it's in one of those stupid little, you know, plastic bubble packs that you can't open. You can either tear it open with your hands, or if you have a knife, you can cut it open with the knife. And, you know, just slice right around it, cut it right out. You know, a lot easier to do than ripping the thing out with your hands. There are just plenty of reasons to carry a knife, and there are plenty of reasons you will use a knife, regardless of what day of the week it is, whether you're going out on a Friday or Saturday night or what. You can frequently find a use for a knife, and I do all the time. Also, you know, maybe you work on the weekends. I do, and I find that I use a knife often while I'm working. So I think carrying a knife all the time is good, just for general utility. You know, you need to cut something, you need to cut a box open, or maybe, you know, an envelope open. Even if it's something like this little case lockback knife, you know, just a 2-inch blade. But if you needed to, you know, cut open a letter, or, you know, an envelope, or cut the tape on some boxes, this would be serviceable for that. And if you had to, this would not be a very good knife for it, but if you had to, you could employ this in a situation where your life is threatened, and this might make the difference. You know, that's just the way it is. It's possible that you could save your life with a knife. I'm not going to say it happens all the time, and I'm not going to say that a knife is the best defensive option, because it isn't. But it is good to have. First, you know, just here's an example. I'm a student of Justice Administration, and I go to classes involving crime and criminals, and you know, I study serial killers and murderers and people of this nature. I was taking a profiling of violent crimes class, and in this class we learned a lot about serial killers. One such serial killer was in a town just a few miles from where I live. And I'm not going to tell you where because it's not important, and if you don't know me, you don't really need to know where I live. But this serial killer was abducting women on, you know, he would go out Friday, Saturday night on the weekends, and if he saw a young woman walking alone, perhaps dressed in a way that he didn't agree with, he would abduct this young woman. He would take her at gunpoint, take her to a local park. He would shoot, he would rape the girl first while holding her at gunpoint. He would then shoot her and dump her body in the park. So he killed 3 young women in this way, abducting them at gunpoint, raping them, and then shooting them and, you know, leaving their bodies in the park. Just in a local park. And the police couldn't catch him, you know, for a variety of reasons. One thing that happens often with serial killers is they need several bodies in order to catch a serial killer, because they have no attachment to their victims in general. So it's very difficult to catch them. But 3 bodies. The 4th girl he abducted, He abducted her at gunpoint. He took her into the park. He's walking behind her with the gun on her. You know, tells her he'll shoot her if she tries to get away or whatever. This girl happens to have a knife. I don't know what kind of knife. You know, could be, maybe she was carrying a Kershaw Vapor. Maybe she was carrying an Oso. I don't know. Maybe she had something like the Gerber Evo. You know, that's a knife. I don't know what she had. All I know is this girl had a pocket knife, a small one. She pulled out this small pocket knife, gripped it in her hand like this, slowed down a little bit, and waited for the guy to catch up with her, holding it in front of her. He didn't realize she had it, because of course this is in the middle of the night. As soon as he gets close enough, she swings that knife downward, stabs him in the groin area, turns around, stabs him twice more in the chest, and takes off running for all she's worth. Finds some police officers, tells them what happened, you know, has gotten away from the serial killer, who of course is writhing in pain on the ground after being stabbed in the groin and in the chest twice. Of course he got up and ran off after that, but you know, she's escaped from him. She has saved herself from being raped and shot by a more powerful, you know, this was a more powerful man with a more powerful weapon. She came in with what she had, which was a knife, and she defended her life with it. And of course, as soon as the police, you know, she showed up with the police, told them, I stabbed this guy 3 times, got him in the groin and in the chest, you know, he was trying to kill me. And they think, you know what, this dude is taking this girl to the very same park, same type of person he's abducted, this could be our serial killer. They call all the hospitals. They tell them, if you see a man with a knife wound to the groin and to the chest, you call us right away. Of course, he went to one of the nearest hospitals to seek treatment for his knife wounds. The hospitals called the police. Police showed up, arrested his serial killer. And why? Because one girl had a knife. One of the people that he chose, one of the victims that this man chose, had a knife and the courage to use it. And they did so. And they did so effectively. And this woman not only saved her life, but the life of maybe, you know, tens of other women. We've seen serial killers. Manny Cortez killed 202 women. Ted Bundy killed at least 36. He claimed to have killed many more. Richard Kuklinski killed several hundred people. We don't even know how many people he killed, but hundreds. And, you know, what would have happened if one of their victims had a knife and the courage to use it? And of course, this happened on a Friday night to this young woman. And obviously, you are not safe from being attacked regardless the day of the week and regardless of what you're doing. You may just be going out, but you could be attacked. And you are going to be responsible for how you respond to that. You know, can the police help you? Maybe. The police helped this girl, but after she escaped from her assailant. The police were not able to help her before she got away. As soon as she got away from him, found the police, then the police were able to help. And they were able to stop that serial killer. But had that girl not been carrying her knife that night, the story may have ended completely differently. She may have been raped and found dead in the morning, just like the other 3 women before her. But because she had that tool, that defensive utility tool with her, and she had her most important tool, her mind, she was able to escape. So, just one of many, many reasons to carry a knife. We're going to stop here for a second and I'll go to part 2.